Hi, everybody. Welcome to Grab a Cup of Knit and Chat. Today is November the 28th, 2024. It is about 10:49 a.m. Sorry about the lighting. I have east facing windows, and this is the best lighting all day. Not going to be a whole lot today, just a quick chat, so no knitting on my part, just a check in about what's happening. So grab a cup of whatever you want and let's get into it. Today I'm having Lipton green tea, and it is orange passion fruit jasmine. It's pretty good. It's sweetened with regular honey. And as most of you probably know, it's Thanksgiving Day in the US. My partner, he's downstairs putting the turkey in the oven. It's just him and I today. The kids all have other things going on, which is perfectly fine. I am going to step out on a limb and get on my soapbox right now because I feel like, although I enjoy Thanksgiving and I'm glad for the holiday, I don't feel like I need one special day a year to tell people that I'm thankful for them to be in my life. I try to do that all year long. If you feel like I don't do that enough for you, I'm sorry. And I will try to do better. Christmas is another thing. I don't like the competitive of the festiveness of Christmas. I don't like the commercialism. I did the whole Santa and Christmas tree and things like that when the kids were smaller, but now it's just the two of us. And I may do something when the grandkids come over to decorate a little bit, but I really I don't enjoy Christmas as it is nowadays. I like to give family and friends presents all throughout the year. Um, some of you may know that my knitting and crochet type projects, um, I I do sell some, and I gift most, but or I wouldn't say most. I gift some, and I've just started selling some, um, which I enjoy because I am a process knitter. So I'm always, I mean, as you can see from me talking with my hands, I always have to do something with my hands. So I always have a project on the go. So they add up quite a while. And now our oldest granddaughter got married earlier this month. And the next oldest is going to be 17 in 2025. So I think it's probably a little bit better of a time to start doing that. Oh, like hope chest type knitting, baby bonnets, baby booties, baby blankets, sweaters, um, kitchen towels, dishcloths, pot holders, that kind of stuff. I need to start making some and putting in hope chest for the grandkids. Although I've realized that they don't always like what I make, but if somebody wants it, it's there. Let's see. Today being Thanksgiving, a lot of podcasters are doing Vlogmas starting December the 1st, and that's kind of what I wanted to come on and talk to you about today, even though it's a holiday here. And if you're not in the US and you're not celebrating Thanksgiving, please take time to tell your family and friends thank you and that you appreciate them. If you're in a shop somewhere today, just say thank you. I appreciate you to the worker that's there. Some of our major stores are open until 3 or 4 this afternoon, and I, I don't know. I wish it would go back to the old days where they would close at 6 o'clock the night before and not open until the day after a holiday, any holiday. And it's super inconvenient for everyone, but you know what? It's it makes the holiday equal for everyone. Why should a grocery store worker be working on Thanksgiving Day or on Christmas Day just because I forgot to buy breadcrumbs or butter or condensed milk? Do without. If you don't have it in the house, do without it. Make it where they don't have to work. Okay, soapbox off. Now, Vlogmas. My glasses need clean something fierce. Sorry. I just realized that. I'm not going to do Vlogmas, so to speak, whereas I'm going to post every single day and have something every single day. But I would like to dip a toe into what I'm doing. I'm not like gift knitting. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to start that January or the day after Christmas for next year. Excuse me. Which I don't know if you remember one of my past posts where I had my notebook and I was writing down different things for the month that I was going to make and what I have made and blah, blah, blah. Well, that lasted about 3 or 4 months. And then I went through a time. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it's just because I went into a knitting lull or a making lull or a I'm not sure what I'm going to do type thing. But I've had health issues for the past few years, and this year was no different. I just really didn't feel into it. So I thought, well, let's start again for 2025. So that's what I'm thinking about. I would like to continue in a manner of this is what I would like to make. And if I can get it made this month, that's great. Because I tend to have way too many WIPs going at once. And right now, that's the issue. And I'm not getting anywhere with anything because of it. So I want to take the next month to kind of reset, work on WIPs that I have, and maybe start the new year with a clean slate. I would like to get my WIPs done before the end of December. I have a crochet blanket. I have a knitting blanket. I have a cardigan from my dad, which is kind of a / Christmas birthday thing because his birthday is January the 15th. So I never really worry about getting presents to him by December 25th because everything that I give him in that time frame is usually for both. And I would prefer to celebrate his birthday than to celebrate the Christmas. So if it's there after Christmas, okay. But if it's there for his birthday, that's even better. And that's the way he is too. In a way, he would rather, because tomorrow is my birthday. This year it is the day after Thanksgiving. Normally it is a week after Thanksgiving, but because of the way the calendar hit, it's the day after, and it doesn't happen that often. But I've always felt that he has celebrated my birthday over Christmas. And I like that better because then it makes it makes it special. I have a nephew that was born on Christmas Eve, and when he was little, I haven't seen them in years because they live down south, I live up north. Um, when he was small, I went out of my way to make Christmas Eve special because of his birthday. And then on Christmas Day, we do Christmas. So that's my thinking. Anyway, I have the 2 blankets, the cardigan, I have socks. I'm constantly working on my cozy comfort throw. I'm working on my miter square blanket. I'm working on, just different little things that are more, sorry, this is non-edited videos in case anyone did not know. I do not edit my videos. You get live what's happening when I'm talking. I have a lot of long-term projects going, which I know I'm not going to finish by the end of the year, but I do have it in my mind that I would like to finish, say, one by June of next year, the end of June, and one by the end of December of next year. So I'd like to put that kind of in perspective on how much I need to do. I think it was Nitty Natty on her podcast talk about how she was doing whips as well and trying to finish up whips so she could do advent knitting. And I'm not going to make myself crazy like that, but I liked something that she said where she's binge watching some shows, and for one episode she'll work on one whip, and then when the episode changes she works on another whip. And I did some of that yesterday, and I kind of liked it. It changes it up for me. But what I did was I finished a Twisted Affair hat from Joji Locatelli during I did some Downton Abbey watching yesterday. That was the first thing that I picked up, and in the one episode, I was like 4 rows away from finishing. So when the next episode started, I didn't put it down. I just went ahead and finished it. And I will show you that because I did finish it. I have it on my mannequin head here. This is a Twisted Affair. And I did it in a Malabrigo Rios yarn. I showed it on my last podcast, and it was a finished object then. Well, it's a redone finished object now. I think I finished this on November the 12th or November the 15th. It's all wet, so I let it block hanging down. I didn't style it or anything to block it. I'm just blocking. But it is a brimmed hat. Let me see. What I did was I had some yarn left over, and I made the hat. I made it in a small, and when I made it, the small was entirely too small. There's the pattern on Ravelry. Oops, there you go. It's a free pattern by Joji as a thank you to all of her people who get her patterns and stuff. And it's a quick knit. It's a little cable. It's free on Ravelry. It's really nice. I like the way, boy, this lighting is just really bad, isn't it? I like the way the top does. And then it comes down in these cables, and you have your fold-up brim. I'm just letting mine hang on the mannequin head like this to block because, quite frankly, I don't know. It's still wet, so it doesn't look like anything. Very wet. I just put it on here this morning. The small was entirely too small, and so I took it out and I made the larger one. And it's still tight around here. And that's like where the cable starts, that first row in the chart of the cable. And I've done minor little cable details, like maybe one or two stitches or a faux cable. I've not really done any cabling patterns until this. I started my Mizarina and there's a cable in the chart pattern, and I would say that is the first time I'm doing a full-on cable, but I think it's looser than what this is. This has turned out to be really tight. So I'm hoping that since I reknit it doing the bigger size that it fits better. So that's just a little something to think about when making that pattern. I think I probably could have went up to, that's done on a size 8. And I did not realize that I knit cables that tight, but quite frankly, before blocking, sorry, Burt's Bees, pomegranate. I did not know it was going to be that tight. And quite frankly, the rest of the hat fits perfectly in the larger size. It's just where the ribbing and that first cable starts. I think had I went up to a size 9 and done that very first row of the cabling in a size 9, it would fit perfect. But I don't know. If you have any suggestions, let me know. What else am I doing? I got my very first Advent for Halloween. I did, what was it that I did? It was a sock Halloween Advent. And I'm so sorry. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, I found I'm not an Advent person. At the same time that I ordered that, I ordered the Woolens and Nosh Advent for 2024. And I got them about the same time, which was amazing. I'm thankful that Woolens and Nosh sent it out so early. I got it before the beginning of October, sometime in September. It's taken a lot not to look at that. But I didn't look. It came in a bag. It had the mini that was separate so you could do your heels, toes, and cuffs. So I did my cuffs, and I just did a 15 round knit 2 purl 2 cuff. I don't know what it is about 15 or 20 rounds. I'd prefer the 15 round, but I like the fit of the 20. I think I just get really tired of doing a cuff. But I did the cuffs and I had it all ready to start on December the 1st. And I got a wild hair yesterday thinking, you know what? I had bought this knowing that my birthday was the day after Thanksgiving and I wanted to start it tomorrow. Well, guess when I started it? I started it last night. So I am not going to show that. And that's one thing I wanted to talk about was I'm not going to do a video every day for Vlogmas. I'm going to do one every now and then. And I think I'm going to try to do it so that if I want to show my Advent that I have for this year, that I would do it like hiding. Like if I was to have it knit, I would kind of hide where I'm at. So you would only see the days that, like if today is day 2 and I've done day 1 and day 2, I would hide day 2 so you only see day 1. Because I'm going to knit it when I want to knit it. And I've already started it. So I need to do day 2 today. And something fun that I thought that I would do this year is I've had the Tin Can Knits app for a while now. And I'm looking at my Ravelry page to try to bring up the pattern. I love my Tin Can Knits hat or app, not hat. I saw a hat. I love my Tin Can Knits app, and in that app, I have the blanket Vivid, and this is the Vivid blanket. Hopefully, you can see that pretty good. It's made of blocks. And I have some Jamieson and Smith wool that I got from a box from Woolly Thistle. And they're like 25-gram balls. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it in the wool because I need to use my stash. And it's pretty wool and it's DK weight. And I'm going to do this in a DK weight blanket. And I think I'm going to do this as an Advent type thing. So I'm doing mine in one solid color for the whole square. You can do the middle in color and then do the outside of the square, say in an off-white or a cream or whatever color you want to break it up, but I'm doing it all in one color. I started this yesterday as well. So I started out, I did this one. This is Jamieson and Smith. This is, all the squares are knit the same way. But for the throw size, you do like 48 of them. And then you put them all together. And this is the second one. You can kind of see one a little bit better than the other. And I'm trying not to stretch them too much as I block them. But it looks like this one's kind of blocked a little more aggressively. But this is squares 1 and 2. I did them both yesterday. I did the one yesterday morning. With my work, I have Wednesdays off because I work a 4-10 schedule. So I work 4 10-hour work days in a week, and I have an extra day off. So Wednesdays is my 4-10 day, as we call it. And with today being a holiday, and they gave us the holiday and the day after so we could have a longer weekend. I had yesterday off and I don't go back to work till Monday, so I basically just have a week vacation, which is awesome. But I was sitting there, I was like, yeah. So I did that yesterday morning, the blue one, and then I did the pink one last night, which is actually called mauve, which is kind of weird because it's more of a burgundy color to me, but on their color scheme it says mauve. But anyway, long story long, I started that. That's going to be my Advent blanket. 48 squares. And there's 31 days. That's 1.5 blocks a day. Sorry, I'm not a big maths person, so forgive me. So 2 blocks a day is not unachievable, but while I'm working, I may not get 2 blocks a day, so I may have to catch up on the weekends. But that's something that I'm doing for myself and for my home for Advent, where I'm using some stash. if you're not familiar with Tin Can Knits app, you can choose your yarn weight and the size that you want, and then it goes step by step. And then whenever you finish the first block and you hit the arrow again, it takes you back up to the beginning of block 2, and it says 2 out of 48, 3 out of 48. So you don't really have to keep up with what, there's no pen and paper. I kind of like it and I kind of hate it at the same time. I love the fact that I don't have to highlight anything. There's chart and text. I think the Vivid is a pay for pattern. It is a pay for pattern on Tin Can Knits. But when you buy it on Ravelry, you get it in your app. If you get it in the app and you have your Ravelry linked, I think if you have them both linked to one another, you get it. So if you buy it on Ravelry, it goes to the app. If you buy it on the app, it goes to Ravelry. Speaking of Ravelry and my plans for the new year and plans to get some things done, I have recently been watching Wool Needles Hands, and on there, Taylor, the dyer for Fiber for the People and the podcaster of Wool Needles and Hands, and her husband have good books lately. Just getting it out there. She was showing, she does pattern roundup things. She was doing like top-down hats the other day. And it might have been a week or so ago. And she was showing how she did a bundle. She made a bundle for top-down hats. And I was like, bundles on Ravelry? How do you do that? So I watched how she did that. And I went in and made bundles on my Ravelry. So if you go to your Ravelry page, you probably can't see this, and you hit my notebook and you see the favorites, go to favorites, and then right up here you have a list. But when you hit something, this is a bundle of crochet blanket to make, which I should edit that and say blankets, because I'm just like that. Let's see. Before I forget, blankets to make. There we go. Save changes. So, it's crochet blankets to make. But when you're on, so this is why I'm doing this, okay? This is my library. There is 16 pages of patterns on my library. And I forget what's in my library all the time. And there's patterns that I really want to do. And there's patterns that whenever I get them, I'm really excited to do. But at the same time, once they go in my library, I kind of forget about them. And I squirrel onto something else. And then they never get made. So, in my library, this is the library right here. These are all pretty much already in. Okay, so little knitted squares. Okay, you go to the pattern page and you go to add favorites. And then on my favorites, I have my bundles listed. So you can add a new bundle, so you can make a new bundle if you want. And then I have all of these listed here. And I have one that's called knitted blankets to make. So this is going in my knitted blankets to make bundle. And I hit save changes. And then the Little Squares Knitted Blanket by Julie Harrison is in my bundle. So I can go back, and this is what I've been doing. I go to my favorites, I go to my knitted blankets to make, and it's in there, right there. And then I go back to my library and I go back to that pattern and I hit that and I delete it from there. Oh, why are you not? Yes. And I hit OK. And it's gone from this library page. But when I go back to my favorites, it's actually still in my bundle. See? So I'm putting it in a bundle to where I would love to have all of my patterns in bundles instead of strewn all over the place, because I have got, I've got a lot of blankets that I want to knit and a lot of blankets that I want to crochet. And I have a lot of sock patterns, and I have sock patterns that I've made that I don't like and sock patterns that I've made that I do like. So in my bundles, I'm just going to tell you my bundle names. I have bags to make, cardigans to make, crocheted blankets to make, for fun home decor that I have made, which happens to be the Christmas caramels from Petite Knit, which is a free pattern. I've made several of those. I will show. I think I showed one on the last podcast, but I'm not sure. For fun home decor that I want to make. For the hair to make, which can be scrunchies, headbands, kerchiefs. I have one called Fun that I have made, which I'm very proud of these two guys. I made a little giraffe and a baby Yoda. I have Fun to make, hat set to make, that usually has hat and scarf, or hat mittens, or hat, scarf, and mittens. Hats to make, kids sweaters to make. And I think I'm going to change this one, and I am right now. I want to call that for kids to make. Changing that now. I'm going to save the changes. So when I started the thing, I just had the Unbearable from Maxim Cyr or Vincent. Which one is it? Is it Vincent or Maxim Cyr? Anyway, I had the Unbearable sweater, and then I have this little summer top for a little girl. And I have booties and sweaters and hats and all kinds of things for kids. And I don't want to overindulge in the bundle making because I can go a little bit overboard. I just want to know that it's for a kid and it's in this bundle and I can find it. That's the whole issue. And then I have knitted blankets I want to make, mittens or gloves that I want to make, scarves to make, shawls to make. And the scarves, they're like the Petite Knits, the Sophie scarf, and then there's another scarf. And there's one from the Moon Bumps from Maxim Cyr, and it's listed as neck, torso, shawl, wrap. And I probably should have put it in a different bundle because I have a shawls to make, I have sleeveless tops. And then this is where I've come down to I have socks I've made, socks to make, and socks to make again. So I've made the Hermione everyday socks. I want to make them again. And then this is a bundle of socks that I haven't tried yet. So when I find that particular pattern that I do, that I say, nope, not again, I'm just going to make a bundle that says never again to make, or never make this again, or something like that. So far, I have not come across a pattern that I would not try again or anything like that. But if I really don't like it, or I really don't like the fit, or it's too, I don't know, too hard to understand the pattern, I can just put it in that bundle, delete it off my library page. And then I have my library page is going to be cleaned up, so to speak. I have sweaters I've made, sweaters to make, tees that I've made, tees to make, and top-down hats. I want it to be simplified on my page. I do the same thing at work. I have, you know how people have god-awful amounts of emails? And I can get upwards to 50 or more emails in a day at work. And if they come from my manager, I have a folder off to the side for all emails that come from my manager. And I just put it in her folder or his folder. I have my clients, if they email me about something or they send me something by email, I have a folder with their name and I put things in there. And then I have that under a folder called clients. I have a folder that's things that we get sent every Tuesday. It's updates for different programs. I have a folder that says that Tuesday email. I've named my folders and I put them into each folder. That's what I'm doing with my Ravelry page. And that's because I have seen a pattern in the last few weeks that I was like, oh my God, I want to make that pattern. And I go to look at the pattern and it says it at the top of Ravelry that this is in your notebook or this is in your library. And I'm like, seriously? When did I put that in my library? When did I put that in my favorites? The good thing about cleaning up the library is I can go in and add things to my library, and then I know whenever I go to the library that those things are not in a bundle yet, and I should put them in a bundle, and I can clean it up again, and it just drops my anxiety. And then I'm not making things that I've made before, or like the socks bundle. I can put socks that I would make again in that bundle. I can do the same thing for hats. I mean, everybody knows that a classic beanie is a 2x2 rib. It fits just about anybody. You can do it in any size yarn, and it's just one of those comfort knits. But there's other hats out there, say like the pressed flower hat I'm currently working on. It's another one of my whips. When I'm done with that hat, would I ever make it again? Or is it just something that I've made? Because then I can put it in a hat that I've made bundle, which I don't have one yet, and say, oh, yeah, I made that hat already and I really liked it. Would I make it again? And then I can make it again and put it in a to make again. I don't know. And my thought process may be way off and people may not be able to follow it, but It's me. Another thing that I'm doing is this way, starting January, I can go through and make patterns that's already in my Ravelry. Because I have patterns that are in here, page 16, that I added to my Ravelry back in 2019. I haven't made these patterns. I hate to say it, but I have not made these patterns, and they've been in my Ravelry since 2019. How many of us have patterns like that? How many of us have actually looked at patterns that we put in our Ravelry page in 2019? I mean, look at this. I have cute things in my patterns from 2019. Look at all of those. Do I want to make them? I don't know. Oh, look, there's a cat bed. My cat would love the cat bed. There's house shoes. Oh, look at this. I have this pattern, and it's little round coasters in a little basket to put them in. I mean, seriously, when I saw that, I remember seeing that. I was like, they're crochet? But oh my gosh, how awesome would that be? Seriously, and it's a free download. A lot of these from 2019 are all free patterns because I was just getting into using Ravelry at that time. So, I mean, edging. Look at this. Dinosaur edging and butterfly edging that you can crochet onto fleece blankets to make them a cute little edge. Amazing. Again, and the Peking cat butt coaster. I mean, I probably would not ever make that, but I know some people that would get a a kick out of that. Um, but yeah, so in January of 2025, I would like to have all of my patterns in bundles by the end of December, so that in January of 2025 I can pick a pattern, maybe not from each and every bundle. I can make a list of what I would make first out of each and every bundle and then work down my list. And then they can go in the have mades. And then I can pick another, like if I do a sweater that's in my sweaters to be made, I can make that sweater, put it in a sweaters I've made bundle, and then pick another from sweaters to make. I can take a hat from the hats to make that hat and put it in the hats I've made bundle, and just work through all of my patterns. Just think about it. I mean, there's awesome patterns coming out all the time, and I'm gonna squirrel, and I'm gonna give myself grace that if I get off the list, I did not give myself grace this year for when I stopped with my monthly list. I thought, well, I can't just pick it back up now. And I need to give myself that grace to pick it back up. But anyway, with the plans made, I have my Vivid blanket, my Woolens and Nosh socks. That's my only Advent type knitting that I'm going to do. And try to finish up my whips from today to the end of December. There's one that I'm so close. I'm like 6 inches into an 11-inch body. So I'm really close. And all I have to do is finish the body and do the hem. I mean, it's a sleeveless top. I've already went back and picked up the neck and did the neck. It's by Joji Locatelli. And it is since I'm talking about it, I'll tell you the pattern if I can find it real quick. I've talked about it before. It's the Staple Linen Top by Joji Locatelli. The only difference in mine, and yes, I did modify it, instead of doing that cute pattern down the front and the back, I didn't do the pattern at all. I just made it solid so that I could wear it to work. I would like, because it is such a sheer see-through top because it's done in linen, I'm using Patons Kroy linen, which is a little bit thicker, I think. But I just did it in a solid, I followed the pattern and just did solid, no decorative stitches in the middle, because that decorative stitches on the front and the back. Although I think I would like to make one where the decorative stitch is at least on the back. I don't know so much about the front. But I love the top, and I'm so close to having that done. So there's little things that I can get done by the end of the month. Fiber Hustle, and I think other people are doing this too. I can't remember. I think they've already started theirs. But I was watching the latest episode of Fiber Hustle YouTube channel, and they want to start on New Year's Day, where you take a magazine or a knitting magazine, crochet magazine, sewing, whatever, a crafting magazine that you have or book, and you pick a pattern and you make that pattern. It can't be digital. It has to be from a book. I have a, I can't remember what it's called, but I have a book and I've already picked my pattern. So I'm just kind of waiting. I need to see what yarn I'm going to use. I have a lot of one-off yarn. I don't have a lot to do a big pattern. Like, I don't have sweater quantities of a lot of yarn. So I need to see, should I do a sleeveless top, a tee, a hat, a pair of socks. I have a book, The 52 Weeks of Socks. I have some Pom Pom magazine. Moondrake and Moon and Turtle, Moon and something another is the book that I picked a pattern out of, and I think it's a cardigan. So I may have to double check that because I don't have a whole lot of sweater quantity. But anyway, that being said, that's my intent for the rest of this year. That's my intent for December, is to come on maybe not every day, and I don't want to say once a week. There could be a time where I do it twice a week. It could be once a week, but at some point during December, I would like to have a couple of little impromptu videos where I say, oh, this is what I worked on in the last few days. Here you go, type thing. Now that I've ran on for almost 50 minutes and I was just going to do a quick 20-minute video, I can't do a quick 20-minute video. Who am I joking? I'm going to cut it there, go down and work on some dinner prep and enjoy the rest of my holiday and work on my bundles. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.